Good morning, friends. My name is Rajkumar Pradhan, and I'm working with Sterlite Technologies from last 6 years. We are in the business of designing, building, and managing smarter networks. It sounds quite technical, but at the end, we are helping people connect better. From last 15 years, I have worked with almost 5 organizations in India, primarily into telecommunication. And I have handled profile like sales, key account management, churn, network planning, and network deployment. And one thing that I've seen across all these organizations is that it is all about people. Technology and processes come after that. So I did my engineering in electronics and telecommunication and then my master's in business management from Pune. In all these years, all those organizations in which I have worked, I've seen that these organizations spend huge amount of money in training people and helping them get technical skills, helping them get non-technical skills. But surprisingly, nobody talks about stress and stress management. So today, in this small time that I have got, I will try to talk about stress management. So in last 6 months, we did a training program for a leading telecom company in India, and I visited almost 4 to 5 places. I interacted with these guys, and we were trying to give them technical training, but in the due course of the training, we realized that almost 95% of these people were going through some sort of stress in their life. And as I was talking to them one to one, I came across that this stress was office related because of office and office environment. When I say office environment, primarily people are talking about discrimination because of your age group, discrimination because of you coming from a different background in terms of if two companies are merging, people are not aligned to each other. Discrimination can be people forming groups, and there are few people who are left out. So this is one reason for stress, and I think companies should look at and try to minimize discrimination of any type within an organization. Second was family. We all have issues in family, and that can have an impact on your work. You can take those things when you come to your office, and the mind is always thinking about those things. Health, people are having health problems, and that will affect your working style and your efficiency. And while talking to all these people, what is more painful is that most of these problems are coming and going, but it is the mind which is capturing this problem and retaining it for a longer duration of time. So while I did a small survey and I went to net to find out what exactly it is. So it talks about, on an average in a day, a person gets 70,000 thoughts in his mind. And believe me, 70,000 thoughts, each of these thoughts can shut down or take you off track anytime. So you are vulnerable to these thoughts which are coming to your mind, and nobody talks about it, how to handle these thoughts which are coming into your mind. I will give you a small example, like two scenarios. A guy who is going back from office to home in a local train which is crowded and which is full of people, and he is hardly having any space to actually sit down and settle down. and he gets a call from his boss. Boss is saying that, uh, man, you got promoted. Just imagine what will be his thought process. How excited he will feel when he gets this news. So he's positive and he's enjoying that moment, even though he's in a very tough situation right at that point. Second situation is when a guy is going out with his family for a holiday trip in a flight, and somebody calls from his home saying that, man, your mom is sick and you should come back immediately. He goes through a trauma. So two different contrasting situations with the physical environment and our response to the thought that comes are completely different. So primarily it's a thought which derives a person's response rather than the physical environment. It is the thought, it is the way we respond to those thoughts. So it is important that we understand the mind, what is happening in the mind. So let me just take a little bit deeper into the mind part of it. And the mind actually has few tendencies. One is, the most important tendency is that we have a tendency to question everything. That's good. So as I'm talking to you, probably you are also making an impression about me even before I can stop. So we are in a hurry to judge a person, judge a thought. We don't give sufficient time for that thought to come down and settle down, and we use our knowledge from books and peoples and environment and come up with the judgment. We just try to come to a conclusion as soon as possible. So that is one area of thought that we should look at. Second area of thoughts and mind is the tendency of mind is our mind swings between past and future. When I say past, it is the past regrets. It is the past, if I had done like this, if it was like this. We always regret about the things which we did in past. And our mind is also thinking about the future, the anxieties of the future. If it will not happen like this, then what? If I don't get a job, then what? So we are just moving from past and future without thinking about the present. And in this process, we are losing the present moment, which is actually the moment which will decide how we will live our life. We are postponing all our happiness, thinking about the past and the future, and we are actually not enjoying the present. So we all should think about this aspect of mind. Third aspect of mind is mind attracts negativity. For an example, you have a friend who is with you for last 10 years. You have enjoyed a lot of good time with each other. You people have gone out and he has done a lot of things for you. One fine day you find out that your friend has not communicated you one fact which was there within the friend groups that you have. And believe me, you will ignore all that good part that happened with you together, and you will catch hold to that one incident, and probably you can even break friendship with that person because of that particular incident. And this is a tendency of mind. This is how it is. And the fourth interesting tendency of mind is that we always doubt good things in life. Interesting it is. If somebody says that that person is wrong, I will not ask a single question. I will take it like that. Probably he is wrong. But if somebody is saying that he is a genius guy, I'm 100%, the next question will be, how can you say that? What is that in it which makes you say that he's a genius? I start testing the good things in others while I never even give a thought that the negative things spoken about somebody or some person also needs validation. We don't do that. So these are the four tendencies of mind which we should look at. And how we can overcome these tendencies, I think, as we know that we all have to energize ourselves. Then only we can take ourselves beyond these tendencies of mind. What are the ways, possible ways, like every day you use your mobile phone, by when you come down to your house you charge it so that you can use it again. So how can we do this? I think one ways of doing it is the food we eat. Uh, right food at right time, probably that will help us to re-energize. Second is good sleep. People should take at least 6 to 7 hours daily sleep so that their body is fresh when they wake up and take the task the next day. Third is a peaceful mind. If our mind is cluttered with thoughts and problems and all this, we cannot take rest. We know many people who are suffering with anxiety and they cannot have sleep in the night. So a peaceful mind is very important. So what you can do for peace of mind? I think meditation and yoga are very useful tools to get peace of mind. In organizations, we should ask team members to do all these practices so that they can have a positive and a peaceful mind. And the fourth and important part, which mostly people ignore, is breathing, the breath. If you don't eat for 3 days, you can still survive, but you cannot survive if you don't breathe for a minute. So right way of breathing is very important, which we are not looking at. So when you do and understand pranayamas, which are taught in various places, and if you can master the art of pranayama, your breathing technique improves, and that is also, in fact, it is the biggest source of re-energizing your body. In this small time, I just try to capture the essence and different ways to take care of your mind and live a positive and happy life. In lives there will be ups and downs, that is life, but if you know how to smile in these ups and downs, that is the art of life. Thank you very much. Bye.